Okay. Hi. I am glad to be here to share some of my experience with you. I'm 34, and I graduated college with a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology from the University of Utah. My interests include biopsychology, autism, and other medical conditions, pharmacology, nutrition, and technology. I really enjoy reading and researching. Along with having Miller's and a lung disease and ADD and esophageal spasms and lack of smell, I have autism. Well, that makes life colorful, doesn't it? I'm a writer, and I'm working on a book about my life experiences with autism and insights I learned about myself, such as how my differences affect me and others. Some of my writings are published in my own book. I also like to speak about my experiences when opportunities arise. The rest of the time, I'm taking care of myself and facing many challenges. Accepting challenges doesn't seem easy. Sometimes I feel like I would be giving up a part of me if I accept a challenge, when really it is the opposite. By accepting challenges, I am freeing myself of perceived boundaries in order to live life more fully and with vigor. When I look at the phrase, accept the challenge, it sounds positive. I picture myself being a gladiator, ready to take on the challenge and be victorious. Sometimes this is really easy, and other times this takes a lot of practice. I'll give you an example from my life of each one. Graduating college was a major challenge of mine to accomplish, and ironically, it had very little to do with Miller syndrome, and a lot to do with two conditions I didn't even know I had. Those were ADD and autism. I loved to learn, and thought going to college would be easy to tackle. Like high school, there were 3 new major challenges that I had to deal with over and over in college. Those were discipline, perseverance, and writing. I think having ADD made me allergic to the first 2. And having autism turned writing into an Olympic event. I have trouble formulating my thought into sentences, and sentences into paragraphs. This requires contextual changes, which is challenging for someone with autism. Since I wasn't aware of these conditions, it was difficult for me to compensate, and this caused a lot of stress. To avoid the stress, I became depressed, and this caused me to procrastinate doing the schoolwork. College would have been much easier if I could have known about the ADD and the autism. That is why awareness of a challenge is such an important first step in acceptance to help prevent further difficulties. The depression and the procrastination made me want to give up on college frequently. My mom would remind me that I could get a job instead, but that getting a job would be more challenging without a degree. Comparing going to college with trying to get a job without a degree gave me a refreshed perspective. And I liked college and did want a degree. I re-chose going to college. And that challenge suddenly looked a lot easier. Gaining this perspective and multiple times was a very important second step in acceptance that kept me moving forward in college. After understanding the challenge of going to college, wasn't going to change, I realized I needed to figure out what I could change and take action to change those things. The third step of taking action involved multiple solutions. I tried different antidepressants for the depression. I learned to ask my professors for help with my schoolwork and for extension on assignments and to retake tests. After my 4-year Pell Grant was finished, I transferred to the University of Utah and decided to take half the hours each semester that I was taking before. This really eased my stress. I asked for people to take notes from me in class through the Disability Center. This also eased my stress. I also learned that I could take tests without a time limit in a room by myself. This was very helpful since I had trouble with writing, especially under pressure. All of these tools helped me accomplish graduation. Every time I think about my experience of college, I feel like that gladiator in victory. Going to college and learning to accept that challenge took a lot of practice. Another challenge I have that people often think is the biggest one a person can face is what I actually find pretty easy to accept. That challenge is facing life each day with all of my disabilities. With Miller's, I'm not able to reach my neck, my upper chest at all, the back of my head, under my arms, my tailbone area, and parts of my back. I also can't reach my face or ears with my left hand. Everywhere else requires stretching and flexibility. For scratching an itch, push pencils are really useful, and they are always around. Hygiene maintenance takes a lot of extra effort and energy. Reaching the backs of cabinets or top shelves involves tools for other people, because my arms and fingers are not long enough, and my range of motion is limited. I also don't use the oven. The risk of falling in doesn't seem all that appealing. You think being tall would be helpful, but this just means I have to bend down farther for everything. So I often squat or sit on the floor. Consequently, I have become very intimate with the ground. With my lung disease, I am limited in my exertion. This requires a lot of patience. That patience is especially needed when the disabilities of my short arms and smaller lungs collide. For instance, when I make my bed, or I have to walk long distances through giant grocery stores with a heavy cart full of food. Yeah. Don't forget autism and ADD. I am a writer, after all. That just can't be easy either. If attempting to sit still while facing an unstimulating blank sheet of paper and focusing on working through various layers of context and ideas while at the same time trying to fit them neatly and linearly through the written language is not an Olympic event, I would be surprised. At least in 8th grade, I had the foresight to teach myself how to type fast. I thought that might come in handy sometime. Why is it easy to face all of these challenges each day? I do have a choice. I could stay in bed all day, but not moving around and staring at walls would get boring really fast. And boredom is something my ADD brain would not tolerate. So I get out of bed, clear-eyed and ready to embrace the next challenge. Accepting challenges is much easier than accepting boredom. That comparison is always helpful to keep my perspective in balance. I like to learn and grow. What better way to do that than to face and accept challenge after challenge in this life? Now you can do it from living.